Step into the unknown with the shadow frequency and your host, Matt Wilson, as he takes you where the shadows hum.
Hey there, listeners. This is Juniper, your producer for the Shadow Frequency. Tonight, we've got a chilling tale straight from the snowy woods of Indiana, submitted by Matt's good friend Kevin. It's a story that'll make you think twice about what's lurking just beyond the tree line on a cold winter night. So grab a blanket, dim the lights, and let's dive into this episode with Matt Wilson. Here we go. Over to Matt in 3, 2, 1...
Welcome to the Shadow Frequency, where the unknown hums just beneath the surface. I'm your host, Matt Wilson, and tonight we're stepping into the frozen wilderness of 1977 Indiana. A place where the snow fell heavy, the wind howled secrets, and one kid's walk home turned into a brush with something unexplainable. This one comes from my buddy Kevin, and trust me, it's got that slow burn creep that sticks with you. Picture this. A small house tucked among the trees, snow piled 3, maybe 4 feet deep after a brutal string of storms, the kind of winter that turns the world silent and strange. Kevin was just a kid back then, living on a wooded property that felt like its own little universe. Next door was Miss Elsie, an old widow who had invited him over every Sunday night to watch the wonderful world of Disney on her grainy TV. After that final blizzard hit, Kevin took it upon himself to shovel a path between their back porches, a winding trail through the drifts brushing right up against the neighbor's dark, sprawling woods. One night after the Disney credits rolled, he bundled up and started that familiar trek home. The air was sharp, biting at his face, his breath puffing out in little clouds. He'd walked that path a dozen times, knew every twist of it, but this time something was wrong. About a third of the way along, the world just stopped. No wind, no creaking branches, no crunch of snow underfoot, just a thick, suffocating silence that pressed down like a weight. Kevin said it felt like the woods were holding their breath, and then he knew he wasn't alone. He turned his head slow, almost afraid of what he'd see. There at the edge of the trees stood a figure, a Native American man dressed in ceremonial garb, feathers catching the moonlight, leather stark against the snow. Not a chief, maybe a warrior or an elder, but his presence hit like a thunderclap. His eyes locked onto Kevin's, unblinking, piercing through the dark. For a second, Kevin's mind raced. Hunter? Lost soul? But then he saw it. The snow beneath the man's feet. It wasn't touched. 3 feet of powder, and he was standing on it like it was nothing. That's when the cold really sank in, not from the air, but from deep inside. Kevin froze, caught in that gaze, the silence screaming in his ears. Whatever it was, it didn't belong to the world he knew, and then instinct kicked in. He ran.
Wow, Matt's got us hooked already, hasn't he? That eerie silence, that figure in the snow. What do you think, listeners? Was it a spirit, a guardian, or something else entirely? Stick around because Matt's got more to unpack from Kevin's wild night. If you're loving this, please hit that like and subscribe button. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook, and all the major podcast directories. Plus, we got some big news. We've got a new online shop. Shirts, mouse pads, stickers, tumblers, mugs, even Bluetooth speakers. Check it out via the link on our Patreon at patreon.com/shadowfrequency or on our Facebook page. And if you want to advertise with us or suggest an episode, you can hit us up through Patreon or email us at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Right now, time for some listener emails on the mailbag, and I got to hit this.
It's time for the Shadow Frequency mailbag.
All right, I'm getting good at hitting that button. This one says, "Hey, Matt and Juniper, I love the Shadow Frequency. Says I've been binging on it here, and that one about the haunted lighthouse from a few weeks back still gives me chills. The way you weave those creepy vibes with real stories, it's like I'm right there. Keep it up. Thanks a lot." That's Mary from Oregon. And this one here's about the Dover Demon episode. Says, "Hi, team. I just listened to the Dover Demon episode, and holy cow, it's still my favorite. That little goblin thing creeping around Massachusetts. Matt, your narrations had me checking my windows at night. Juniper, to love your energy, too. Keep those breaks coming. Big fan from Texas there. That's Carlos. I think we've heard from Carlos before. Let's get it back over to Matt now for the rest of Kevin's story in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to the Shadow Frequency. We left Kevin bolting through the snow, heart pounding after locking eyes with that impossible figure. A warrior, weightless on the drifts, staring him down like he'd trespassed into something ancient. Let's pick up where the panic took over. Kevin said those last 100 yards to his back porch felt like a nightmare stretch. Legs churning, snow dragging at his boots, the cold burning his lungs. He could still feel that gaze boring into his back, like it was following him, silent and relentless. In his rush, he hit the porch steps wrong and slipped on the ice and went down hard, crashing into a snowbank with a dull whomp. He scrambled up, clawing through the powder, and burst into the kitchen, a mess of snow and adrenaline. His dog Rusty was on him in a second, ears up, tail rigid like he'd caught the scent of whatever Kevin had left out there. Dad was at the table nursing a late-night coffee, and he smirked at the sight. "You fall down or something?" he asked. Kevin laughed it off at first, shaky, but then the story tumbled out. The man in the woods, the way he defied the snow, that suffocating quiet. Dad didn't laugh. He leaned back, face darkening, and said, "I've seen things out there too, shapes in the trees, shadows that don't fit. Never could figure them." Then he dropped the kicker. Right before you came in, Rusty went to the front window, hackles up, growing low, like he was facing down a bear. Stopped the second you walked through the door. Kevin glanced at Rusty, now calm at his feet, but the air in that warm kitchen felt thin. Beyond the frosted windows, the woods stretched out, black and endless. He couldn't help but wonder, what was that warrior guarding? What had Rusty sensed creeping closer? And why did it let him go? That's the frequency we're turned into tonight, folks, where the shadows watch and the snow keeps secrets. Back to you, Juniper. Take us out.
And that's a wrap on tonight's Shadow Frequency. Thanks for joining us on this icy journey. Hope it gave you a shiver or two. Before you go, sign up for our contest. First prize, the Bigfoot book, the Encyclopedia of Sasquatch, Yeti, and Cryptid Primates. Second prize, a deck of Bigfoot playing cards. To enter, email us at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com with your favorite episode. Drawings on May 10th. Stay spooky, listeners, and we'll catch you next time.
Looking for a thrill that's out of this world? Tune into the Shadow Frequency podcast, hosted by Matt Wilson. We dive deep into the paranormal, hauntings, cryptids, alien encounters. If it's odd, we've got it covered. Catch up on our past episodes and join the adventure. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and all major podcast directories. The Shadow Frequency podcast, where the strange comes to life.